Hello, hello, and hello again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing 101. I'm so super excited about this content that we're on right now. It's about what mentally strong people don't do. And if that's something you're interested in, we want you to stop by and join us. And if this is your first time with us, go ahead and say hello, write replay in the message. Hey guys, my name is DrMonifa Jones. I'm a transformational life coach. I am available for life coach sessions one-on-one. Hit me up, DM me, message me. But I want you to know, guys, that as a transformational life coach, an entrepreneur, a business owner, a health and wellness business distributor, I am also a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, and effective today. Y'all better get excited. I'm your friend. That's right. Dr. Jones is your friend. I welcome you to the Love Tribe. I welcome you to the Love Tribe. So let's go ahead and get started. So this week we are talking about what mentally strong people don't do. And even to break down our topic for this week is mentally strong people do not dwell on the past. Y'all better get excited about that. Mentally strong people do not dwell on the past. What I want you guys to know is that it's so exciting to know that something that we deemed ourselves in the past that we failed at. We deemed ourselves in the past that we made a mistake. We deemed ourselves in the past that we weren't good enough, right? We didn't have the skill, the talent, and ability to pull it off. So many of us have started businesses and they failed, Mom. So many of us have started different ventures and we didn't do well. And what mentally strong people do is they don't get stuck in the past. So let me tell you something. I'm a DIY girl, just to let you know. I will figure it out. I will go to the thrift store. I will buy something. I will repurpose it. I will repaint it. You will walk in my house and think I spent $1 million and I spent about 35 cents. Get excited. I love working with my hands. I love doing DIY. I love being creative. And while we are on this topic of not being stuck in the past, this is something that I want to tell you. Many of us mislabel ourselves because let me tell you what we do. We say, well, I tried that before and it didn't work, so I know I can't do it. But let me tell you something. Every step and every stage in your life, you develop a different experience, different history, right? You have different relationships. You have a different abilities, talents, and skills. So what you did before that didn't work, please don't count yourself out because mentally strong people don't dwell in the past. Because I want you to know that you have to reintroduce yourself to yourself. Because the person that tried to start that business 10, 20 years ago is not you, the person you are today. The person that tried to be in that relationship 10, 20 years ago is not the person you are today. You must reintroduce yourself to yourself and understand that you can't dwell in the past. You can't look at your past failures, which is really just feedback. You can't look at your past mistakes or things that just didn't work out for you and deem for the rest of your life that it's not going to work out for you. I hope I am here to interrupt that mindset. Y'all better get excited. I hope that I am here to kind of put a monkey wrench in the mindset of it didn't work before, so I know it's not going to work now. So I want you to know mentally strong people don't dwell in the past. Understand that the you of today have greater experiences. The you of today have better history. The you of today have additional skills, talents, and abilities, not to mention years of life. So what I want you to do is do it again. What I want you to do is do it again. If you hear me loud and clear, put it in the messages. Do it again. Because the things that we tried, we have literally judged ourselves. We have literally put ourselves down. We have literally doubted ourselves and say, I know I can't do it. But like I tell you, I'm a DIY girl, right? I will watch 100 YouTube videos to figure out how to do something. I will get something inside my house, repurpose it, clean it, paint it, break it apart, put it back together, seal it another way. You will come in my house, it will be all gray. You come the next, we want to do all lavender. And you're like, wow, where did all this stuff come from? It's the same stuff, just got moved around. The color just changed, you get excited. But what I realized about watching YouTube videos on directions and on instructions, see if you're going with, feel me on this. No matter how many videos I watch, until I literally myself get the hammer or get the wrench or get the screwdriver or get the paint or even the spray paint was the hardest curve for me. I couldn't understand why I couldn't just spray paint. I really thought I was going to get some spray paint, right? And I was just going to spray paint something. It was going to change the color. It was going to be beautiful. Because I thought that was the steps. But guess what I didn't understand? I said, wait a minute. It's not working. It's dripping all over the place. Now I got to sand. It's terrible. But then when I watched the directions and the instructions, guess what it said? They said you can't just spray paint something. If you're going from dark to light, you have to sand it. First of all, you have to clean it. Then you have to sand it. Then you have to prime it. Then you have to put the light color on first, because if you're trying to take a black to like a pink, the pink is going to show up purple because it's so dark underneath. You have to give it a blank slate to start with. But if you're going from pink to black, you're good. You're good. You can go ahead and spray paint that black and the pink won't show. Can I explain to you guys that I had a learning curve? Can I explain to you guys that me eyeballing it, thinking I could just do it, go in the garage, boom, 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 I'm done. I had a rude awakening. Mom, there were multiple steps that it took for me to get to that final outcome. And see, what I think we do in our lives is that we misjudge ourselves, we mislabel our experiences, and we go about it in the wrong perspective. So I don't know if you were like me and you said, oh, I can be in this relationship, I can just love him and everything's good. That's what I thought with my ex-husband. I thought I could just love him and everything's going to be good. But what I didn't realize is that he came with a lot of deep-rooted issues from being in foster care, from not being raised by his mother, for literally being in the same neighborhood with his bio family and not finding out until he was an adult that this woman he was carrying bags for home from the market, who was so nice to him, who used to give him $1, was his grandmother. It crushed him. When he found out, he's like, you knew the little foster kid boy you gave $1 to was your grandchild? You didn't even say, I'm your grandmother? I know my mother forsake me, but what was your challenge? I saw you every day at the supermarket. And so what I didn't realize, he had a lot of issues that had to uncover, and I came with a boatload of issues of my own. And so whereas I thought I failed as a wife, whereas I thought I failed my marriage, what I didn't understand was I harshly judged myself by dwelling on the past and saying I messed up. I had a lot of guilt. I had a lot of regret. I had a lot of shame. But what I didn't realize was that there were multiple steps adjusting my crown. You don't just walk into it and spray paint it and think everything's going to be perfect and pretty tomorrow. Matter of fact, it took several layers of paint. I was like, dang, I just thought I spray it and put it back in the house and it's cute. It was fumes. I had to open the door. I had to let the fumes out. I had to clean it first. And then I had to use this green stuff. I forget the name of it. And then I had to use the phosphate stuff to get all the previous stuff off. Then I had to use the liquid sander, then a real sander, then a primer, then the light color, then the actual color that I was going to use. I had to put 3 coats on it for it to come out beautiful. 3 light coats. I learned that. It was a learning curve, because I actually started to do the work. So in my learning curve, I learned, I got to do this color of paint. Stop, let it dry for a day. Like, this not going to happen in 20 minutes. Fast, super speedy Monifa. This is a 4-day project, up to a week, just to spray paint this lampshade. Just one thing. I was like, Lord, a whole week? So then by the time I did all the layers, I allowed the proper drying time in between, and then I still had to leave it in the garage to let all the fumes go out before I let it in my home. So I misjudged the amount of steps that it took to get the final outcome. And so I want you to let yourself off the hook, and I want you to do it again. Because there are some things in the past that you wanted to tackle, and you are harshly judging yourself because it didn't work out. But see, I want you guys to know, after watching multiple instructional videos and after doing it myself and getting the learning curve, I don't care how many videos you watch, you have to do it hand on yourself. So many people think they just going to jump into a relationship and save the day, and the man going to do everything because you real cute and you got a Coke bottle body and no. We have to be realistic and not have unrealistic expectations, but understand what we're getting into. Me going to spray paint something that I thought was going to be a 20-minute project end up being a whole week project with multiple learning curves. So if you can imagine, if it took me all of that with a lampshade, people walk in my house and think I got all new furniture. All I did was spray paint the lampshade. That's it. Because I decided I wanted a different color scheme. But guess what, Cheryl? I misjudged the process. And in the process of misjudging the process, I misjudged myself. And so I told myself the first time I attempted to do it, I'm a failure because it didn't work out right. Because when I went to go spray it, it was all these lines and it was just dripping all over the place. And it was looking absolutely horrifying. And I could not figure out for the life of me why when I'm working on this project, it's not working. But I realized I didn't have all of the steps. I didn't have all of the valuable tools that I needed. I needed to make sure that I had sanding paper. I needed to make sure that I had the cleaner. I needed to make sure that I had drying time in between and that I had the primer. So when you dwell on the past, most of the time we didn't have the proper information that we needed. That's the reason why we failed. So please stop judging yourself and do it again. Please stop. Please, somebody put in the comments, do it again. Because I want you to know the things that didn't work out the last time, they're going to work out now. The things that didn't work out the last time, it's going to be amazing now. The things where our health failed and our finances failed and our relationships failed. I want you to know, don't be afraid because we were depressed in the past to think that we are destined. Thank you, Cheryl. Do it again. That we are destined for the same. I promise you, my life does not look the way it did. Thank you, adjusting my crown. My life does not look the way it did 10 years ago. I promise you that. Do it again. I know that first relationship failed and it's over our head that, he cheated, so I wasn't good enough. Do you know how many years I told myself because he needed to be in the bed with another woman, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't sexy enough. I wasn't wifey enough. I wasn't whatever enough. And I blamed myself and I went into a spiral of a deep, dark depression. You know why? Because I mislabeled what was happening to me. I mislabeled the experience. And let me tell you, I'm trained today. I'm an expert in the field today. As an 17-year-old, when I met my ex-husband, I was not equipped to handle a man who was broken. I'm telling you right now, I was broken myself. At 17 years old, I was not equipped to handle a man who was broken. I was not. Hey, sis. Hey, Yolanda. But can I tell you today, I see red flags immediately in all relationships, and I turn the other way. I am here to be a support. I am here to love. I am here to serve, but I am not here to be a doormat. And I'm not here to be disrespected at all. Been there, done that. So what I want you to do today, mentally strong people don't dwell on the past. I want you to look in your past. And I want you to see something that you deemed as failure. I want you to see something that you said, I messed up. I wasn't the best mother. I wasn't a good mom. Like, I tried my best. I wasn't a good mom. Like, everybody says I could have done better. Maybe I shouldn't drop my kids off. Maybe I should have cooked more meals. Maybe I shouldn't have took them to takeout. Maybe I bought them too many things. Maybe I bought them too many cars. Maybe I just did too much. I don't know. If you told yourself that you weren't a good mother, I need you to go back and I need you to write that down. And I need you to take that failure that you think as feedback. And I need you to judge yourself who you were. At 17 years old, people, well, how old was I? I was 18 years old when I got pregnant. Let's be transparent. This is healing. My first son died. I was not equipped to handle a dead son at 18 years old. I got pregnant the second time when I was 19 years old. That child, I lived my whole entire life for. I won't even go there, get excited. That was my second born child who almost lost his life, but thank God we found him blue and was able to save him and put him on a monitor. Then my third born child, who I was knocked down a flight of steps at 8 months pregnant, because I refused to let my husband sell the fan after he sold the air conditioner for drugs. I'm like, don't take the fan. I'm pregnant, please. Got knocked down a flight of steps. That baby died. I was not equipped to deal with raising a child between two dead children. I was not equipped, but I did the absolute best that I could. And I put my life, and that child don't even know. My child who's alive today, who is the oldest today, don't even know that I made a promise to God that I was going to get up out of that bed of depression and I was going to be the best mother I could be. Am I going to say everything turned out perfect? No. No. But when I look back and I judge myself and I look back over all the things that I've been through, Yolanda, I want you to know I was not equipped to handle that at the time. But I did the best I could with what I had. And mama, I don't let myself off the hook. Get excited. So I want you to know there are things that you have not forgiven yourself for. You still dwelling in the past. You said I wasn't the greatest mama. I wasn't the greatest father. I wasn't the greatest husband. You still dwelling in the past. You are still judging yourself. So I'm going to ask you today to let yourself off the hook. We don't live in the past. We understand that who we are today, then this is the thing. I told you guys this. This is so exciting. If you understand that you have regret, my sister Gwen, over what you have done before, Pastor Charles Gaskins, if you have regrets over what you have done before, please understand that you have graduated. Because now you see that it is essential that you don't operate that way anymore. Do you know the last time you did it, you just did it? You did it freely with no remorse. There are things that we have done in our past that we wouldn't dare do today. There are things we have done in our past, sis, that we wouldn't dare do today. You better congratulate yourself. You better pat yourself on the back. And sis, you better get excited because you know you wouldn't do it today. So instead of judging yourself, saying, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I stayed with that guy. I can't believe I stole that. I can't believe I told that person this. I can't believe I treated my mother like this. I can't believe any of these things. You guys have to understand that if you can't believe you did that, you graduated. Where's your graduation cap? Where is your ceremony? You have elevated to the next level. There are still people doing shameful things who don't regret, have no remorse over what they are doing to themselves or others. People have no remorse over hurting you, manipulating you. People have no remorse over sabotaging their lives through addictions. No remorse. But if you have the ability to understand that that's not you no more, you better get excited. Because mentally strong people don't dwell in the past. When I look in the past, I just look at it. And I said, that was me then, but that's not me now. See, people who don't dwell in the past, who are mentally strong, they live in the present. Now, the only thing I'm going to focus on, Pam, let me tell you what I'm going to focus on. How powerful I am today. Do you remember when you messed up yesterday? Nope. I don't remember that. Do you remember when you lied last week? Nope. I don't remember that. Do you remember when you were deceitful? You remember when you was fast as tail when you was a teenager? Do you remember? No. Pastor Charles says, remember, there's a reason why the windshield of a car, come on now, yes, Pastor, is larger than the rear view mirror. Listen, that was a good word right there. When you driving and you going forward, thank you. Thank you, Pastor Charles. I love him. When you are driving and you are going forward, there's this big, huge windshield. But in order for you to see behind you, it's this little mirror this big. Do you know where you're going is the focal point, is where you're supposed to pay attention? And if you understand that the body mimics the reality of life and nature and how we should move and how we should operate, and if you understand, if you turn your neck backwards, I don't know about you, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like I shouldn't be doing it. I can't do it for a long time. I might can turn, Pastor Charles, turn my neck for maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes max. But after a couple, I got to turn my head back around. It don't feel right. It feels uncomfortable. It feels awkward. So this is our physical body telling us, stop looking behind you. There's a reason why your head is facing forward. Look forward. Progress is straight ahead. You will never go forward by looking behind. Let me tell you something. You better get excited about your future. And you better get excited. God didn't put eyes in the back of our heads. Come on, I'm so happy He with us today. Do you have eyes in the back of your head? I know your mama told you she got eyes in the back of her head. She watching you. I know you believed it. I know you did. But we don't. If you want to look behind you, you got to turn around. Don't turn around. There's nothing back there but misery, sorrow, comparison. I told you yesterday, the only thing that we compare, Pam, is ourselves to who we were yesterday. Am I better today? That's the only comparison I have. I have no comparison for you at all. None. Like, if I tried to compare myself with my sister Pam, I just wouldn't win. Like, she's freaking amazing. I think, some people are good at this, some people are good at that. Like, she's good at everything, right? Is things she does I can't touch. I just can't touch it. And this is the thing, guys. Y'all better get excited that your failures show you where you belong. So many of us, we are out of place. Pastor Charles, so many of us are in the wrong place and things are not working out. Things are awkward. Things feel wrong. Things feel off. Energetically, we are imbalanced. And do you understand why we are out of place? And the reason why we don't understand why we can't move forward. We're dwelling in the past like this didn't work and that didn't work. It wasn't supposed to work. Because if it was supposed to work, it would have worked. It's not rocket science. Let me tell you something. There are people who go to work for 20, 30, 40 years, absolutely hating what they do. And look it up. Most people die on Monday morning. They just die. People go in the room, They thought they were supposed to be at work and they found them in bed dead. People would rather die than go to work. Y'all better look it up. Statistics, most people die on Monday morning. So with that being said, so many of us are doing things that we have no joy, no desire, and we're trying to make it work. And we wonder why our lives is not working out the way it's supposed to. I told you, you were not born to suffer. I told you that your life is not a mistake. It is a piece of a puzzle that we have to connect together. And you must clearly understand that you are to walk in your destiny and your purpose. And when you are in alignment with your assignment, that's where the joy and the bliss is. So when you tried to do that thing and it didn't work out, maybe that ain't your thing, sis. And when you tried to do that thing and it didn't work out, bruh, never let your past keep you from your future. Come on now. Don't let the past pollute your future. People still trying to do what they don't love doing. I'm gonna try to motivate. I'm gonna try to ask you guys to do something special today. I want you to find out what you love, what brings you joy. I don't want you to do something for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and hate it. I'm gonna find the name of this tennis player, but there was this tennis player in Australia or Amsterdam. He was a top tennis player. His parents forced him to play tennis. He hated it. And by the time he won all the awards, he was a multimillionaire, almost a billionaire. He quit tennis. And everybody said, why are you quitting tennis when you're the top of the world? And guess what he said? He said, I hate it. My parents forced me to do it. But I love kids. So now I'm going to use all of my millions of dollars and I'm going to have programs throughout the schools of all Australia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach kids to walk after their purpose and their destiny so they won't always be doing 10, 20, 30 years what they hate. If you like to bake cakes and it brings you joy, I don't care what it is. You like to bake cakes, but you're stuck in corporate America. Why don't you go to the supervisor and say, I want to be in charge of birthdays. We need some morale in this building. Can I bake cakes every birthday? We can take a collection amongst everybody. Everybody will give me the money and I'll bake a cake. And you know, at least once a month or twice a month or once a quarter, you're going to be doing something that you love to do. Won't you start doing what you love to do? You know, you hate crunching numbers. You know, you hate sales. You know, you hate a lot of the things that you do. I got to do it. I got to do it to pay the bills. You're killing yourself. You doubting yourself. You killing your dreams. You making yourself forget how great you are because you force yourself every single day to do what you don't like to do. So I would like to try to challenge you today to find out what you love and incorporate that into what you have to do to what you can figure out how to make money and monetize it to what is the only, to when it becomes the only thing that you do. You better get excited. Most successful people fail several times before they succeed. When I tell you I'm a DIY girl, when you see a finished piece that I have completed, it may look like I just changed the color, but you didn't see the first day that I had to clean it real good and then let it sit. And the second day when I had to clean it with water to get all the dirt out and let it sit. And then the third day when I had to sand it and let it sit. And then the fourth day when I had to clear the sand and then put the primer on and let it sit, let that dry. You can't just put on top of it. You can't just put another layer on top of it. You have to let it dry if you want a nice, smooth, beautiful finish. People don't understand. The foundation adds to the final product. And if you're going to rush the foundation, I promise you, the final outcome is not going to come out as beautiful as you think it will. It's going to be some lumps and some bumps. So what I want to say to you is you are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. Y'all better get excited. You are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. So my word to you today is do it again. Stop rushing your journey. You got all the time in the world. Stop rushing your journey. Make sure the foundation is right. And make sure you allow for a learning curve. Don't compare yourself to me today. Because I want you to know, when I started speaking 20 years ago, my mama will attest to this, and she's watching right now. I couldn't walk from the back of the room to the front because my knees would buckle. I was so nervous. I was so sweaty. I was so paranoid. I was so petrified. I couldn't speak. Everything that I thought I was going to say went out my brain. It took me decades to get the confidence to say, I am going to be God's mouth. It took me decades. And we compare our day one to somebody's 20th year. Stop comparing yourself. You are great. Get your learning curve. Get your learning curve. So guys, mentally strong people don't dwell in the past. So I don't care what you did before that didn't work. We don't care. Because guess what? We're going to do it again. Because why? We got a different set of skills now. We got a different set of capabilities now. We have a different set of experiences now. And now I got a different confidence. Because I finally learned to keep my power to myself and stop giving it away. I finally learned to stop being in a prison of other people's opinions. I finally learned. Woo! I'm so excited that when I know I have been anointed with a gift. Come on. Remember, faith activated is fear annihilated. Come on. I know without a shadow of a doubt, today I am in alignment with my assignment. Today, I am walking in my purpose and my destiny. And it took me some valleys, and it took me some hills, and it took me some messes, and it took me some trauma. But I'm here. So I want you to know your experiences ain't all bad. They showing you where not to go. They showing you what not to do. You better get excited. It showed you what you don't want. So now that you're smarter, now that you're brighter, now that you're more intelligent, now that you have years of experience, do it again. Do it again and see what happened this time. Y'all better get excited. Let's go ahead. We say if you don't have 5 minutes, Pam, you don't have 5 minutes, you ain't got a life. You better take 5 minutes. Steal away. Find out what direction you're supposed to be going in. 5 minutes will save you 5 years on your journey. Ask me how I know. 5 minutes will save you 5 years on your journey. Don't take it lightly. So I'm going to be with you for just 2 minutes, and I'm just going to give you a quick example. You know, find your space where you go and do this. Find your music or find your silence. Find your book or find your words. Find your affirmations. Find yourself. Because you are so worth it. You are so worth not dwelling in the past and not doubting yourself and not living in fear. You are so worth it. You are so worth the bliss and the joy that is ahead of you. But you will never tap into it if you don't go do it again. It's a learning curve, baby. And do you understand? We're on the other side of the learning curve. Pam, been there, done that. Mama, been there, done it. We're on the other side of the learning curve. So let's do it again. Yes. I'm so excited. May God continue to shine his face upon you. May God be gracious to you and grant you peace. Look, we are forgiving ourselves for believing that we should have done better when we didn't even know how. And we forgive others, all the stuff they did to us, that hurt us, that broke us down. We forgive them because guess what? They didn't know either. We have to believe that great things are happening to us. We have to believe that we are coming into our own. We have to believe that all of the things and the lessons that we learned wasn't just for no tears. All them lessons that we learned wasn't just for no heartaches. All them lessons that we learned wasn't just for no car repos, for no evictions, wasn't just for no negative bank accounts. All those lessons that we learned when I buried my 2 sons, all those lessons that we learned of grief and sorrow is not for nothing. Y'all better get excited about the strength and the courage that we have to heal others. So I say to you today, whatever you want you. It's already done. It's already done. You already have it. It's already yours. You better get excited and ask yourself, did you do your day or did your day do you? Because feeling good is a strategy. So I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, Monday through Friday, live at 5. Love you guys. Have a beautiful, amazing day on purpose. Yes.